It is my real pleasure and honor to induct Dave Farmer into the 2011 Full Sail Hall of Fame.
I'm not really used to this, so please bear with me. It's just a great thing for me to have Harry and Full Sail together because they are two of the biggest influences on my career, for sure, hands down. And when I was trying to reflect on what I might say today, I really couldn't come up with anything, great that was under like 2 hours long. So I just wanted to try to do a few bullet points, maybe, connect the dots, if you will, along the way. Some things that were really important to me. My parents, thanks for the birthing part. That was great. A real life changer. And you guys have just been behind me the whole way, and the path was not straight. So thank you for supporting me and telling me I could do whatever I wanted to do. My sister, who was quite musical and was in shows a lot, she, at a very young age for me, gave me an insight into backstage, which was quite inspiring, made me want to work behind the scenes to create shows from, behind the curtain. So, couple that with an obvious dorky interest in sound. Flash forward to when I was about 14 years old, and I saw the making of Empire Strikes Back. Ben Burtt was out there recording sounds and turning them into lightsabers and lasers and Chewbacca and TIE fighters, and I thought, wow, that's cool. And it was really what made me realize that that's an actual job. Films need sounds need somebody to make them. But it really took 10 years before that sunk in. It always seemed like a job that somebody else might do, but wasn't for me, or wasn't possible for me to get to it. But in walks Full Sail, really, and I've got to thank Gary Jones, who convinced me to come here, because when I toured the school, I was here on a weekend where there was about 30 or 40 other students. And many of them had a lot of working knowledge in the audio industry already. And I was terrified that I wouldn't be able to compete with these people, even on the classroom level, much less out in the working world. But I told Gary about that, on my way out the door, which I was about to say, I'm not coming here. And I told Gary my fears, and he basically convinced me that we were all coming here for the same reason, which was to develop a skill set, even the people that had already worked in the industry. The people I was terrified of were coming here to retool, and I was coming here to tool up. And it must have worked, because I've been called an incredible tool many times. So I came out of Full Sail with my bucket full of knowledge. I knew it all. If you asked me, I knew it all. And wound up at EFX, where Paul Rodriguez and Pat Johnson, they took a chance on me and gave me an internship. It really wasn't that much of a risk on their part. They didn't have to pay me for 5 months. But, I got paid in much more than money. I got to meet Harry. And everybody should have a mentor like this. There's not enough to go around. He never held back his knowledge. In fact, if he was thinking about it, he was talking about it. Am I right, Mark? Yeah, yeah. He was always talking, and he could talk while he worked, which I can't do. It was great, and I mean this in the most loving way. He never held back. He was always willing to let me share in his successes and prevent me from making the mistakes he made, which weren't many because he was brilliant. And you know, if I had gone somewhere else as an intern, I don't think I would have been trained as well, because I think it's sort of human nature. If you have say you have a mentee thrust upon you the way I was on Harry, it's sort of human nature for you not to train somebody that might want to be your replacement one day. But that's not Harry's way. He was always wonderful and very giving. The next step was Marc Fishman. We supervised a show together, the first Mortal Kombat movie, and that was the first film I did as a lead sound designer. And let me tell you that everybody knows getting that first gig, you know, of significance under your belt is the hardest one to get. So thank you, Marc, for that confidence. Whoops, my little notes went to sleep here. After that, Charles Deenan. Anybody who's has worked in game audio ought to know that name. He heard our work on Mortal Kombat and hired us to do video game sounds, and I've been doing those for 15 years. So that worked out well for us, anyway. There was a tremendous pool of sound designing talent at EFX. This is a recurring theme here, the EFX thing. There was Ann Schabelli, who never gets enough credit. She was fantastic. Paul Minichini, Tim Gedimer, Jeff Witcher, Tim Walston, Mike Camper. All these people were just wonderful influences and great to work with, just a family environment. We were all helping to get each other's shows done. It was a fairly small place, but lots of work was moving through there. It was also at EFX where I met my wife, Leanne, who's become my incredible partner and supporter and guide and sounding board. There's often quite a bit of the sounding. And mother of our daughter, Kaya, who's amazing. She's only 6 years old, and she's already learned to tune me out. Just last week, I was working on a scene. I work at home a lot. I was working on a scene that had this massive werewolf vampire battle. And so you can only imagine the hellish sort of cacophony of noises that were just roaring down the hallway. And I hit stop in Pro Tools, and I can hear her singing, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So she's either learned to tune me out really well, or my werewolf sounds really suck. So I might need to go revisit those on the way home, after I get home. Next, Garry Rizzo. I promise I'm not bringing you guys up just because you're here. These are important moments. Garry was at EFX as well. He went on to Skywalker before me. And he inserted my name into the Skywalker wheel at just the right time. And I got my first sound design job at Skywalker Ranch because of that. And through that connection, met Chris Boyes, who undoubtedly my largest credits have come through my connections with Chris. He introduced me to Peter Jackson. And what else can you say? I mean, Peter's movies have, those type of things only come around once a generation. And believe me, I feel lucky and blessed to be a part of them. And I should also say that I should thank Matt Dravitsky, who if it wasn't for Matt, that little clip of Peter wouldn't have happened. They shot that while they're on the Hobbit shooting schedule. And anybody that's been on a film set will tell you that time is precious, and seconds with somebody like that are not easy to come by. So I really appreciate Peter and Matt for putting that together. I want to thank Full Sail, obviously. This is one of these places where, I hope people hear it the way I hear it. Because when I hear Gary Jones speak, or John Phelps, any of these guys, when I hear them speak, they feel like they really have the hopes and dreams of the students at heart. And I've always had a lot of affection for the school. I'm not just saying that because of today. I've always said that. And I want to single out Jay Noble as well, because I knew Jay briefly when I was here in 91, but I've gotten to know Jay a lot more over the past few weeks and months. Jay sort of embodies Full Sail, the heart and soul of Full Sail to me. Every time I would talk to him on the phone, he was always thinking of the students. He'd be like, oh, we should do that. Oh, yeah, we got to do that. They would love that. They would get so much out of that. Always thinking of the students. So, Jay, you're a real treasure to the school and the students. And I want to thank these folks that helped vote me into their club. I'm blown away when I hear how many people have gone through this school, and that we are of the 18 so far chosen. And I'm just so impressed with your record and your work, and yours as well. It's an honor to be in your presence. I really feel like I belong here, up in your club, but I'll take it. Partly because there's so many students coming through here, I think it's going to get harder and harder to get in. So that's pretty much it. Thank you. It's a real honor to be here and to get this and be part of this school's history. Thank you.